Well, this is it. By the time you see this video, my tree will be down, my decorations will be gone. But this is it. This is the second to the last one. We've come to the end of Stephanie Plum. Look for this video tomorrow. We have come to the end of Stephanie Plum. I'm a little sad. I'm a little anxious to read the new one. So we'll be checking that out tomorrow. Janet EVANOVICH, Going Rogue, Rise and Shine 29. We've got our gang back. There's no Diesel, there's no Wolf, there's no invaders. It's just our little old crew. It's just our gang, and it's really, really good. I'm hoping the next one, and I'm going to be sad to do this one because it's the last one for a year. It's the last new book for a year. It's going to be very sad. But this was really good. And before I get started, this is the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, K-O-I-S-T-I-N-A. This is where we read books, talk about books. No special effects going on here. No, my audio is bad. My sound is bad. My video is bad. It's just me reading books. I have no special effects, no theme music, nothing going on like that. And so we are reading Going Rogue, Rise and Shine 29. Connie and Stephanie is a bounty hunter. She works for Vinnie. Connie is the office manager. Lula is her partner. Morelli is her on-again, off-again, on-again, off-again, on-again, off-again boyfriend. Ranger is special ops. He also runs a security business, and he's her on-again, off-again, off-again, on-again lover. Morelli is a Trenton cop. We have her mom. We have Grandma Mazur is our comedy relief. And we also have Joe's Grandma Bella making extra appearances this book. It's all good. It's all a really massively good story. I like that it's just our main crew, that there's no extras, no invaders in this story. So we have to check it out. And as you know, when I do these books, I have to share them with you. I have to share my enjoyment of them with you. It's just who I am. It's just, I like to read these books. I like to share them with you. I've done like 5 videos today. But anyway, Connie is missing. They've gone to the Bonds office. Lula and Stephanie show up, and Connie is missing. The storeroom looks like it's been searched. Stephanie checks Connie's route to work. She was going to stop for gasoline. She was going to stop at the bakery. So Stephanie checks out all this stuff and finds that Connie made it all the way to Pino's. I'm not sure why she was stopping at Pino's. I think that was the next door to the bakery. And her car's there, but that's it. So they log on to Connie's computer and they find that they have 3 new FTAs, fugitives that they need to apprehend who skipped their court date that need to go back to court. Brad Winter, Carpenter Beadle, and Bellissima Morelli. And Stephanie's like, oh my God, that's Joe's grandmother. I'm not going after her. She'll kill me. The whole town will kill me. So Stephanie goes to her parents' house and tries to see if she can get some Berg information from them. Yes. Am I boring you? Nope. Can't. There she is. There's my little pumpkin. She's a good one. She's a pumpkin. So, let's see. I left Lula at the office and drove to my parents' house. The easiest and most reliable way for me to get information on anyone in the burg is to talk to my grandma Mazur. She shops at Giovanni's Deli and the Italian People's and Tasty Pastries. She goes to bingo twice a week, and she regularly attends Mass at the Catholic Church and viewings at Steve's funeral home. The Berg gossip mill is full force at all these gatherings. Several years ago, Grandpa Mazur succumbed to a full-fat diet and 2 packs of Lucky Strikes a day, so Grandma moved in with my parents. My father survives this invasion by spending a lot of time at his lodge, and my mother has developed a relationship with Jack Daniels. It used to be ironing. Now it's knitting. So she goes and checks up with Grandma, and then she says, remember when Manny Tonellini's garage burned down last month? Yeah, it was a beauty of a fire, Grandma said. I was watching TV and I heard the trucks go past our house, so I went out to look. You could see the flames shooting up in the sky. Morelli's Grandma Bella was charged with arson for that fire, I said. She was standing on the sidewalk holding an empty 1-gallon metal can that could be used to have kerosene in it, and she was yelling, "Burn, baby, burn," at the garage. Grandma said, I got it all straight from Emily Mazur. Her boy was one of the first cops to get there. He tried to calm crazy Bella down, and she hit him with the empty can and gave him the eye. Now he's got boils all over him, even on his private parts. You gotta love Grandma Mazur. So, Grandma wants to go bonding, after FTAs with Stephanie. So she goes after Stephanie to help her with Carpenter Beetle. He's an FTA. They're successful. They take him to the police station. She sees Morelli at the department and they make dinner plans. Then Lula goes back to her. She has taken over Connie's desk. She's pretending to be Connie. So then she goes back to her parents' house for, I think it's dinner. And look at this, she said. Oh, Grandma took a bowl of soup to the table and checked on her email on her smartphone while she ate. Look at this, she said. Lenny Leone died. Margie Wysinski says that they think he threw a clot. He's having a viewing on Wednesday. That's going to be a good one. He was a big deal in the Knights of Columbus. Grandma took a piece of bread and dunked it in her soup. Crazy Bella will be there. The Morellis and the Leonas are neighbors, and one of the Leone girls married into the Morelli family. A second cousin, I think. I think you should go to the viewing with me and take Bella down at the cookie table. My mother sucked in some air. You wouldn't. Of course not, I said. I'd do it in a heartbeat, Grandma said. You have no authority, my mother said to Grandma. You don't work for Vinnie, and even if you did work for Vinnie, it would be a horrible thing to do. It would be disrespectful to the deceased. Okay, Grandma said. How about if we get Bella in the parking lot before or after? So then, she goes back to the office and she talks to Lula. Nothing from Connie. Only person called was some loser who wanted Vinnie. Said he had to talk to him. So I told him I was the only one here and he could talk to me or no one. So he hangs up and 10 minutes later he calls back. Tells me that Vinnie is gonna want to talk to him on account he has something that belongs to Vinnie. So I ask him what it is and he says it's none of my business and that it's between him and Vinnie. He said Vinnie has something of his and he's gonna keep this thing of Vinnie's until he gets his own back. So I tell him I don't give a rat's ass about any of this. Honest to goodness, as if I haven't got anything better to do than waste my time on someone who doesn't listen to what I'm saying. Vinnie isn't here to talk to you. How hard is that to understand? And it was the kidnapper. And he has Connie. And that's the thing that he thinks that Vinnie is going to want to get back. However, Vinnie is out of town with his father-in-law, Harry the Hammer. So then, Grandma Steffi and Lula go after one of her other FTAs. And it's really not part of the story, the main line, but it is humorous. They get They go in, they have a hard time with him, and they finally do tackle him and get him and wrap him up in a sheet. Well, you can read the circumstances after that. But uh, 4 women got out and rushed at Grandma and me. They were in their late 30s to early 40s. All had blonde hair with perfectly cut and colored. Minimal makeup, diamond studs in their ears, and the diamonds didn't look fake. All wearing gym clothes, Leica leggings, and warm-up jackets. All of them drew a gun, and the other one drew a gun, and the other 3 grabbed Winter and shoved him into the back seat of the Mercedes. Sorry, the woman said with the gun, said to me, you're going to have to wait your turn. You can have him when we're done with him. I'm bail bond enforcement, handing her my card. Whatever, she said. We'll gift wrap him and bring him back here tomorrow. I'll make sure you get your cuffs back. They take him and, you'll have to read. I'll probably get back to it. So then Stephanie drives around looking for Connie, finds the car at Pino's. She calls Morelli. She goes to his house. And Connie isn't my only problem, I said, adding extra red sauce to my meatball sandwich. She's at Morelli's having dinner. Your grandmother is FTA. Seriously? Yes. Morelli grinned. Well, at least you know where to find her. It's not funny. She's scary. If I go after her, she'll put the eye on me. He opened 2 bottles of beer and passed one to me. Do you believe in the eye? No, of course not. Maybe just a little. Even without the eye, she's still scary. And? I was hoping you'd bring her in for me. No way, Morelli said. She's my grandmother. I can't arrest my own grandmother. You're afraid of her too, aren't you? I'm not afraid of my grandmother. I'm afraid of my mother. She'll make my life living hell, and she'll cut me off from lasagna deliveries. I did a mental eye roll. Talk to your grandmother, please. Explain to her that she needs to make another court date. We could cut a deal here, Morelli said. What kind of deal? It would involve you getting naked. What about you? I get naked too. What about your injuries? Your eye is totally shut. I can still see with my other eye, and my deal would involve body parts that are functioning perfectly. Yes, ma'am. If my computer shakes, it's because somebody is marking it. What's up with my computer there, Missy? Come here. Stop marking my computer. So, Stephanie's like the only one that is stressing up the yin yang about poor Connie, and that's kind of upsetting. So Lula says, one of their FTAs was found dead with 12 bullets in him, so he's good. Stephanie calls Vinnie about, Maury tells him about the coin. So apparently Vinnie took a coin as security and I couldn't find it. What kind of coin? His bond application didn't say. I called Vinnie. Now what? When are you coming into the office? I don't know. I'm still in AC. Harry's having a board of directors meeting, if you know what I mean. I need to talk to you about Paul Maury. The dry cleaner? He turned out to be a real pain in the ass. I was at the courthouse to write a bond for Beetle and I ran into Maury. We take our dry cleaning to him. He needed to get bailed out, so he gave me a deal on dry cleaning and a commemorative coin for security. The dry cleaning deal was sweet. I didn't care about the coin. I took it to humor him, and then a couple days ago he came in and said he wanted the coin back. He was going to give me a big bag of money for it, but I didn't have the coin. I told him I lost it, and he went nuts. He almost ripped my shirt off, yelling that I was lying. Connie stun-gunned him and dragged him out of the office. A car drove up, 2 guys shoved him into the back seat and drove off with him. How did you lose the coin? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I bonded out Maury, and then I had to turn around and right away bond out Beetle. Beetle's mother was there. Nice lady. She was upset. I had to walk them to a car. What did the coin look like? It's supposed to be old. Knights Templar, like in Indiana Jones. I don't think it's real, but it was cool anyway. I gotta go. Harry's giving me the sign. What sign? Like he's gonna kill me if I don't get off the phone. And the line went dead. So that's the story with the coin. And that's what the kidnappers want back. They want the coin back in trade for Connie. But we don't know that yet. Well, actually, I guess that was them telling. So then, my baby's going off. I'm a little short here. You got to enjoy these books. You have to. They're so good. Here's the deal, he said. I need that coin and you need to find it for me. This is the kidnapper. That's what you do, right? You find people, so now you can find a lousy coin. Personally, I think you know where it is. And if you don't know where it is, I'm sure Vinnie knows where it is. Why is the coin so important? Is it worth a lot of money? It's junk. It's a trinket. It's worth nothing. Then why all this trouble to get it back? It's got sentimental value, okay? I don't matter why I want it. What matters is I'm not a nice guy. I can inflict pain and death and still sleep at night. And as you've probably guessed by now, I have something from your office. I thought it would give incentive if I had something to trade. Is it a box of donuts? We're short a box of donuts yesterday. Very funny. You want to hear a donut scream? No, I said, not at all. Then find the coin. You have 24 hours. And he gives her a description of the coin. So then they go and talk to Beetle. And they get a description of the coin again. And she calls Morelli. I love sharing these books with you. I called Morelli when we got back to my car. I heard about poor Maury and I'm curious. Are there any persons of interest? Approximately 230 people hated him. Aside from that, no. How about a video? Were there cameras at his dry cleaning shop? I don't know. Schmidt is the principal on the case. I imagine he's looking into it. Why are you asking? There might be a connection with Connie's disappearance. I sat through a moment of silence on Morelli's end, and he finally said, and I tell you about it later. It's complicated. It's complicated. How's it going there, Chicky? You ready for the ball drop? They go to see Melvin Sparks. They return to the office. Grandma is sleeping. Stephanie does the computer search on Sparks, and she calls Ranger for help. Then she gets a text saying they are done with Brad Winter and she can come pick him up. And when they pick Brad Winters up, he's been shaved completely from head to toe and tattooed with some stuff. So then she returns to the office. She returns Connie's card to her mother. She goes to her parents' house. Morelli says it's been 24 hours. They can officially file a missing persons report on Connie. Ranger goes to her apartment and he helps her go into Sparks' place. They find a whole bunch of nice Templar coins and they take them all. And it turns out they're not the ones that he needs. They try Benji, the comic book store guy. He can't help. And so then she's with Ranger, and we love Ranger. Sometimes I think Ranger's a better suit for her, but she's more comfortable with Joe. But sometimes I really feel that Ranger is. You are so cute today. You are so cute today. I got down here to be nice to her and she left. Typical cat. Ranger stopped for a light and looked over at me. I knew the look. If it was any harder, it would have set my panties on fire. "Where do we stand?" he asked. "I'm in a relationship." "And?" "That's it," I said. "You'll let me know when it's ended. You'll be the first person I tell." Ranger almost smiled. I amused him. The light turned green and Ranger headed toward downtown. His apartment was in town. Beyond town, on the other side of the rail tracks, were Hamilton Avenue and the bail bonds office. "Your call," Ranger said. "Where are we going?" "We're going to the office to hang a sign. And then I'm going to wait for a phone call." He glanced over at me. "It's only a matter of time, babe." I suspect he wasn't referring to the kidnapper's phone call. They have a relationship. I'm telling you, they have a relationship. It's just how they are. It's on again, off again, on again, off again, lovers. So Vinnie comes to the office finally. The kidnapper calls. He wants to exchange Connie for the coin. Arrangement gets all these listening stuff. And they get videos of Connie. The kidnapper says they had stolen the coin from one of the guys. They stole a whole bunch of, some guy had like 26 copies. And they're all duplicates. They're not, it's a fake game coin. It's not a real coin. And that's just, it wasn't the right one. It just wasn't the right one. He wants a specific one. And there's a reason he wants the specific one. And we'll find out later what that is. And I'll leave that as a secret for you. Let me get up here. I don't know where that child went. So, Ranger was with Stephanie when he gets a call from one of his security places that one of his new houses that he's playing security for was attacked. "It's really pretty here," I said. "Until recently it had a zero crime. I had several clients here and I've had to increase patrol car presence. This is the fourth armed home invasion in this neighborhood in the past 2 months. It's the first time it's my account." "And it always the same MO?" Yes, the victim is an older woman driving an expensive car. They follow her home to an empty house and force her to let them in, and then they rob it. Something obviously went wrong this time because someone got shot. When the lights flashing a block away, a fire truck, a couple cop cars, and an EMT transport, 2 rangeman cars, the house, a large rambling 2-story white clapboard with black shutters and lots of professional landscaping. A woman was on the stretcher. The back of the stretcher was elevated to allow her to sit. 2 meds were with her. She was carrying groceries into the house when 4 men came up behind her with guns, Hal said. They told her to get on the floor face down and stay there, and she told them to F themselves, and she swung a 6-pack of beer she was carrying at one of them and smashed in his face. Then she got shot. So that's that. So the next day, she's back at the office, and then she goes to her parents for lunch, and I found some leftover chicken parm in the fridge. I shared it with Lula, and we finished it off with ice cream bars. "What's the latest on Paul Maury, the dead dry cleaner?" I asked Grandma. "Any suspects?" "I haven't heard any. People are saying he might have made an enemy in jail. The timing is strange, and he wasn't robbed. He still had his watch and wallet. I imagine there'll be talk about him at the viewing tonight. We could scout around before we make a move on Bella." My mother sucked in some air and stopped knitting. "You will not make a move on Bella at the viewing. It would be disrespectful. I guess we could wait to snatch Bella at the Maury viewing," Grandma said. "His viewing is tomorrow. It's going to draw even better than the Len viewing tonight. A shooting always tops an aneurysm." My mother looked at Lula. "This is why I knit." I hear you, Lula said. There's rules about polite society. All you gotta do is watch the Bridgertons. You know, Julia Quinn's The Bridgertons. I talked about them early this year. I did the Bridgertons versus the Mallorys. It's always nice to hear, you know, I bet Julia Quinn was really honored that Stephanie Janet Ivanovich watches her shows. Of course, that was England, and this is Jersey. Our rules in Jersey are more common sense. Like you don't double dip the chip in sauce if someone's looking. And if someone's got a gun rack or a big dog in his truck, you don't cut them off at traffic. My mom looked from Grandma to me. What's going on? What you know what? Connie's been kidnapped, I said. We're keeping it quiet while we work to get her released. Oh my God, my mother said. Kidnapped? Why would someone kidnap Connie? It's complicated. A special coin passed through the bond's office. The kidnapper is holding Connie hostage until the coin is found and returned to him. What if it's not found? It'll be found. In the meantime, we're keeping the details quiet. So, she takes Grandma to the viewing. They see Grandma Bella, and we know the story about her. I like sharing these books with you. I hope you like reading these books with me. The crowd was beginning to thin out at 8:30, and I was able to make my way to Grandma at the cookie table. She was talking to Ethel Scheck and some other woman. Another clump of ladies was on the far side of the table. I helped myself to an Oreo and realized that the cookie table conversation had suddenly stopped, and everyone was staring at something behind me. And I turned and was face to face with Bella. I stepped aside, effectively blocking Grandma from grabbing Bella by the throat. Nice to see you, Mrs. Morelli, I said. I bet, she said. Maybe you've been looking for me, eh? Bella stared at the selection of cookies. Where's the pignoli? There's no pignoli here. I cut my eyes to Grandma and saw her smile. She had the pignoli in her purse. Someone ate my pignoli, Bella said. I give the eye to them when I find them. The woman on the other side of the table scurried away. Bella spied Grandma Mazur. I see you hiding behind your worthless granddaughter. You big coward. You the one who took my pignoli. Excuse me, Grandma said to Bella, pushing me aside. Are you calling me a coward, you miserable old crone? You Hungarian washerwoman? Bella said, don't have the cajones like an Italian. Oh, yeah? Grandma said, you want a piece of me? I could kick your ass any day of the week. I give you the eye. And I give you the finger. You gotta love it. It's just too cool. And then I didn't read what I wanted. I turned on my heel and went to the front door. I rang the bell several times. No one answered. I banged on the door. Still no answer. Okay, go to plan B. Drop Bella off at Joe's house. She was his grandmother. He could deal with her. Oh, so after the thing in the funeral home, they get Bella. And Bella insists that she be taken to the police station. And Stephanie's like, So then she's like, well, she's going to take her home. But then she gets to the house and there's nobody there. So then she's going to go to Joe's house. So she leaves Bella in the car. And the car happens to be Rangers. Because her other car got destroyed. We were firebombed. Well, you'll have to read the book. I'm trying to save you some stuff. But I'm trying to savor the highlights. So I was gobsmacked. For a bunch of beats, there was nothing in my head beyond mind-goggling, stupefying belief. Bang! My brain kicked in. Bella had hit something. Bang, bang, bang. Crap, what the hell? I sprinted down the street and turned the corner. There was enough ambient light from houses and the moon that I could see Bella had sideswiped 3 cars and finally jumped the curb and smashed head-on into a small tree. The tree had broken in half, and the car was partially impaled on it. Bella was struggling with the airbag when I reached her. The driver's side door was bashed in, and the car was hanging from the splintered tree at a 45-degree angle. Tiny flames were licking along the undercarriage. I wrenched the door open, my purse tumbled out, and Bella followed. I dragged her away from the car and helped her get to her feet. "Are you okay?" I asked. "I'm a tough Sicilian," she said. "This car no good. I give it the eye." You gotta love it. So then, my phone buzzed. It was Morelli. "Was that a serious message about Bella?" he asked. "Yes. They said they were taking her away for evaluation. Not sure what that means. I drove her home from the viewing, and when I went to get your mother to get her out of the car, she jumped into the driver's seat and drove off. She hit 3 parked cars and a tree. When the police showed up, she blew a .18% and they threatened to give them the eye. Then she insisted they arrest her, so they did." "Was she hurt?" "No." "Is there more to the story?" "Yes, but you don't want to hear it now. I imagine you want to see what's going on with Bella." Chuck Krasacki was the arresting officer. "I know him. He's new. He's a good guy. He tried to be helpful, but Bella wasn't cooperating." "No surprise there. What about your car?" "It wasn't my car. It was Ranger's 911. It got impaled on the tree and caught fire and melted down to a glob of black goo. If you don't want Bella spending the night in jail, you're going to have to call Vinnie. For a price, he can get Judge Luca out of his lazy boy chair to bail her out. I didn't have any luck reaching your mother." And then Ranger calls. You gotta love it. You just have to love these books. And I'm gonna be so sad to read Dirty 30 tonight. So how are you spending your New Year's? I'm spending my New Year's reading Dirty 30. Well, I spent the day reading Going Rogue, so she goes to Rangeman and they review some footage of the kidnapper giving her demands. He used a drone to communicate with her. So then they go looking for Beetle and Benji, and the roommate says that Benji said he was going on a vacation. And it turns out that Beetle, Benji, and Sparks all knew each other, and the 3 of them have disappeared. We later learn that Beetle came by, and he came by in a brand new car in a 3-piece suit with shaved meticulous. So there's something going on there. I don't really think we need to oh, this is off. Okay, so they've learned that the guys have gone off. "Just the person I want to see," Grandma said when I walked into the kitchen. "Are you going to the Moira viewing tonight? I could use a ride." "Is it really necessary to go to a viewing tonight?" My mother said. "Can't you let things calm down a little after last night's scandal?" "What scandal?" I asked. My mother laid down 2 more place settings at the table. "Everyone's talking about how you took Bella out in handcuffs." "She insisted," I said. "And the funeral director begged me to remove her from the building." "It's true," Grandma said. "I was there. I saw it all. Bella needs to have a head examined." She looked at Lula. "What about you? Are you going to the viewing tonight?" "No way," Lula said. "Dead people give me the creeps." What's new in your world?" Grandma asked. 3 men involved. Paul Murray's Knights Templar coin. Beetle, Benji, and Melvin have disappeared. Like snatched? I don't think they were snatched. I think they're hiding out someplace. I ran them through some search engines, but didn't turn up anything useful. So she investigates all that. What's the We get the big reveal on why the coin is so important. It's not the coin that's important. It's what's engraved on the coin that's important. I don't know why they put it on the coin. They put bank account information on the coin. That's why it's so important. And I probably shouldn't have said that, big spoiler. But it's such a huge part of the story, and you can have the coin, but we already spent the money. Oh boy, what money? I asked him. When Melvin got the coin, he examined it under magnification. Beetle said. It's standard procedure for us collectors, Spark said. It helps us to determine the value of the coin. In this case, there was a small visible smudge on the night side. When I looked at it magnified, I could see it was numbers and alphabet. I figured it meant something, so I asked Benji where he got the coin. And Benji came to me, Beetle said. I knew right away that the letters and numbers were a cryptocurrency password. It took me a while to finagle my way into the right account, but I eventually got in. And there was $11 million in that account that they all completely 100% spent. And I could use some money right now, going through some personal issues. Joe calls later. He had gotten Bella out of jail, and she was apparently last seen getting into a limo, and the limo took her to Newark Airport, and she was going to Italy. And normal, I would leave this go, but it's just, and you just gotta fill in your own sentence. If you've been with me before, it's just, you can put in your own little sentence you want. What's the problem? I asked the ticket agent. Bella turned and narrowed her already narrowed eyes at me. Slut, what you doing here? Your grandson sent me to bring you home. I'm not going home. I'm going to Italy. She doesn't have a passport, the ticket agent said to me. I don't need a passport, Bella said. I'm an old lady. I'm an American citizen. We go where we want. I have credit card and money. Money talks, eh? Let's go home and look for your passport, I said to Bella. You can come back tomorrow. You big liar, Bella said. God will strike you down. Hey, Lula said. You can't talk to Stephanie like that. That's it for you, Bella said to Lula. I'm giving you the eye. For Pete's sake, I said to Bella. Don't work on my computer. Please don't work on my computer. You big liar, Bella said. God will strike you down. Hey, Lula said. You can't talk to Stephanie like that. It's for you, Bella said to Lula. I'm giving you the eye. For Pete's sake, I said to Bella. That's enough with the eye. I give you one too, Bella said. Okay, I said. How about if I put you in handcuffs? Bella held her hands out. Look at this. This how sick old ladies are treated. Handcuffed. Somebody take a picture. You can't handcuff her, one of the cops said. I pulled Bella's papers out of my messenger bag. I can handcuff her and forcibly remove her. She is an active bail bond, and she is obviously a flight risk. Thank goodness, the desk clerk said. One of the cops scanned the papers and looked over at me. Are you Stephanie Plum? Yes, I said. He looked at the two cops behind him. It's Stephanie Plum, he said. Everyone was smiling. You're the one who burned down the funeral home, he said. And last year you jumped out of the window of that hooker hotel. I saw your picture in the paper. I put the cuffs on Bella. The funeral home wasn't my fault, I said. It was an accident, and only part of it burned down. Can I get a selfie? The cop said. Sure, I asked. Sure, I said. Everyone crowded in. Several pictures were taken. Lula and I escorted Bella out of the building. She's famous. She's famous. So she's getting people asking her to take her pictures. You just gotta love it. So I think I'm gonna leave you there. Although I've got several more pages. Oh, I wanted to, before I get to the other stuff, yeah, it's just two more little things. Once again, Stephanie's having that, what am I doing crisis. Um, uh, When you're in a situation like this, a safe haven can feel a little like a prison. Still, it was better than the alternative, which could have been a dark room with a chemical toilet and getting burned with a fire starter. I was eating cereal out of the box when Morelli called. I saw a car parked in front of the bail bonds office today. I'm afraid to ask if it's yours, he said. What kind of car was it? I don't know. The front looked like a Toyota, but the back looked like spare parts. Yeah, that's mine. Aside from the bargain car purchase, how did your day go? And she tells him. And do you think it would help if I got a different job? It would depend on the job. Even then, I'm not sure. You're like a magnet for disaster. How many of your cars have gotten blown up? I don't know. I lost count. How many of my cars have gotten blown up? 0? Wrong, Morelli said. 2. Both of them because of you. Car number 1, you commandeered and it had got blown up in your parking lot. Car number 2, you parked in my garage, left the garage door open, and Mama Macaroni blew the car and the garage halfway to hell. Maybe I need an exorcist. Let's assume it's your job and not the devil. If you quit your job, what would you do? That's the hitch. I don't know. There must be something that's always on in the back of your mind that you would like to try. A fantasy job. Nope, I've got nothing. Do you like kids, old people, sick people, animals, clothes, cars? I like all those things, but I don't want a job associated with them. I guess I don't love them on a group level. What do you love? Peanut butter. That's a little limiting, Cupcake. I could tell he was smiling when he said that. It just popped out. I also love olives and wine with screw caps. What do you love? Yeah, I love my job, I love Bob, and I love you. That made me feel warm inside. I love you too, I said. Do you want to give me a job? Maybe. What do you do? You know what I can do. Definitely want to give you a job. Are you available tonight? You gotta love it. I really, one of the other things that happens in this book, and I was like, oh Jesus, here we go again. A few books ago, 3 or 4 books ago, the Bonds office was bombed, and we spent a couple of books in a bus trailer and a RV and Mooner's RV, and well, the Bonds office gets bombed again, and Lula gets them a bus out of the junkyard. So now they have to look for another office again. So I'm kind of curious as to what's going to happen in Dirty 30, and we'll be going over that tomorrow. So you'll have to find out who the kidnappers are and what that's all about. You'll have to check that out for yourself, read it all, find out. Stephanie and Lula end up getting in serious trouble. They end up getting kidnapped, and Vinnie gets kidnapped, and they send them pictures of torturedness, and it turns out not to have been Vinnie. They do have Vinnie, and they do have him. They hung him upside down. They took pictures. They said they did all this stuff to him. But so we're ending the year with my little couple here. I played them for this. I'll play it again tomorrow for this. I bought this about several years ago, and it took us 2 years to get the part to make it work. It didn't come with the right plug. So, I want you all to have a happy new year. And we're almost to the end here. I'm kind of sad. We're going to do this one tomorrow. This is how I'm spending my New Year's Eve. So, thank you for joining me this year. I'm most appreciative. I tried to do a year in review and wasn't successful. I've just done too much. Over 35 different series and 250 plus books and 88 Star Trek Next Generation episodes. It's been a year. No one's watching my videos. Oh, I even did a week of Boggle, and no one watched that either. So I stopped doing that. And we're going to do Flashback Mondays, and don't forget Star Trek Next Generation on Fridays, which is probably the same day that this is airing. So have a good one.
Hasn't it been a wonderful year, Mrs. Plum?
Indeed it has, Santa, and I'm happy to have shared it with you.
And there's no one I'd rather begin the new year with than you, my dear. Happy New Year!
I hope I'll see you in the new year. I hope you're watching this video. And I'll be doing videos the next couple days without the tree. It's coming down. It always comes down on the 1st. So, check it out. Going Rogue. Rise and Shine 29. And my buddy here. Oh, she got away. Have a happy new year. I'm kind of sad that this is ending. I really am. I'm really sad this is ending. Have a good one. Good night.